Hey, we gonna party tonight or what?
Yeah, we are gonna party.
So, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
Hey, Lashy Kids and Driving. Welcome to another episode of a show I have not titled yet. Interviewing cool ass people. That's what I should call it. But I do want to introduce to you, if you don't already know her, Zena, Real Queen of Horror. She is the head of Bloody Disgusting TikTok page. She hosts the Bloody Disgusting pod. She's an emerging filmmaker, and she's your best friend who loves horror. Please welcome Zena, Real Queen of Horror. How are you?
Good. How are you? Thank you again for having me.
Thank you. And you always look beautiful, by the way. I meant to say it earlier before we came on, but I was like trying to get my mental processes ready, but you always look beautiful in all your content, your photos. Like, I love your fashion sense.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I feel the same way about you. I love how creative you get with your reviews. I love, like, right after you'll watch a movie, you just give us like the raw details of it all. So that's so awesome.
Which is a little bit hard. That's why I kind of stopped doing it, because I don't know if you know, I have ADHD, so it's hard when I try to do the out of the theater reviews and people are walking by talking and I'm like trying to maintain my focus.
Yeah. No, I know the feeling. Sometimes I know for me though, I get like, I don't know, so anxious sometimes. And then especially if people like, they want to stop, they want to see what you're doing. And I'm shy. So
it's like, I don't want to record with an audience. I'm used to talking in my room to myself in the camera.
I get it.
Let me say what's up to the chat. And always first here is Tony Man, who says, hello. I said, hello, that's close enough. You missed the line. It's hello. And then she says, did you just say hello to me? I said hello, but that's close enough.
I love that little worm.
And he asked, name the quote. It's from Labyrinth. Mr. Dan and Horror says, Zena, oh wait, I skipped one. Mr. Dan and Horror first said, okay, I have to start by saying I owe my channel to both of you.
Whoa.
That is a huge compliment. And then he says, Zena discussed House on Skull Mountain. And then I watched Shasha's review of that. And that's how I found a whole horror community.
Wow, that's so awesome. I hope that you enjoyed House on Skull Mountain.
I enjoyed it. I think I did a double feature review. I feel like there was another movie I reviewed with the House of Skull Mountain, but I can't recall which movie it was. Mr. Dan says Silver Eyeballs.
Oh yeah, that's from you know, the blaxploitation horror Sugar Hill. Like the zombies have.
I was about to say, is that Sugar Hill? I always think of like the silver golf ball.
And then I was just talking about it in a video a couple of years ago, and I started screaming Silver Eyeball. I don't know. It's just something, you know, so you get excited about.
You know what's funny? The new Salem's Lot came out today on HBO. Yes. And one of the characters has a poster of Sugar Hill on his wall. I was like, that is so cool.
I'm so excited to check it out.
Yeah. Tony says they don't always walk by. Sometimes they walk through the shot. Yeah, they do. That's why I don't use he always tells me, use the little stand. And I'm like, no, I'll just use the selfie stick. Because if I use the stand, they'll walk right. If there's only 1 foot between me and that stand, they're going to squeeze the 1 foot in between. Oh, Bonnie's here. Hey, Bonnie. She says, good to see you lovely ladies together this evening. I'm glad you're here too. I got to shout out Bonnie. She always gives me really lovely comments underneath my videos. And it helps me through some days when I feel a little bit not as confident in my work. And then she'll come through and say, oh, that turned out well. Because sometimes every video that before you post, you know the feeling where some of your videos you're like, I love how this video turned out. And then
Yeah.
like, 100 people watch it, and then other videos you're like, that one's kind of iffy, and then like 1,000
Mhm.
people watch it. You're like, why didn't you watch the one that
Right?
I thought was really good? But I'm glad that there's something for everyone. I have a few questions for you. The first one is, do you remember what the first horror movie you watched was?
Yes, I do. So I always talk about this one, and it's Night of the Demons from 1988,
Nice.
directed by Kevin Tenney, and I love it. I love it so much. I know that it's not a perfect movie, but it is also like the perfect time to watch it, like around this time of year. And yeah, like I remember I was like a kid watching it, like extremely, extremely young. I honestly, I think I was maybe like 4, we'll say 4 years old. And, yeah, my family rented it and we watched it and I fell in love with it. But, the opening, it's an animation. So I thought that it was like a Halloween cartoon or something so cool. And then that transition and we see like the jack-o'-lantern on top of Stooge's car. Well, more of what's her name? Helen's car. And while they're driving to the party and just like a whole transition. And I remember just being freaked out by it, but I could not take my eyes off of it. And yeah, then I wanted more. Then I remember from there just watching a whole bunch of made for TV movies like Pinocchio's Revenge, falling in love with that, just pure 90s cheese, which I absolutely love.
One of the things I also love about that movie is the black character makes it to the end. I forget what's his name.
Roger.
Was it Ronald?
Roger.
Roger, yes. And I love when he jumped out the window. It's like, I
Listen.
wonder if that was a callback to, there's a movie from either 1940 or 1942. It's one of the earliest black horror sci-fi movies. It's called Son of Njiji. And there's a scene where the character jumps out the window to survive. And I was like, I wonder if that's a callback to that or just
Ooh,
coincidence.
yeah. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That makes
Yeah.
a lot of sense. But and then, we'll get more to Roger, but he's just relatable. He's very much relatable. At that point, what else would you do? I feel like most people probably would have just jumped through the window as well.
Tony Man says, is Night of the Demons the one in the movie theater with the glowing eyes and the people trapped in the garage? No, you're mixing two together. You're mixing Demons and Demons 2. I think. but no,
cool.
yeah, that one is cool. If you get a chance, it's I think it's a Mario Bava movie. It's a great demon movie, but it's one of the Italian demon movies. So it's really gory. It's early 80s. It's about these two girls that get like a invitation to a movie, so they go to this movie theater, and I'm not sure if it's the movie that possesses the people or whether it's a combination of a movie and this silver mask that scratches this one character, Rosemary, and then the demon virus kind of spreads. It's really, really entertaining, and I love it so much. What was I going to say? No, Night of the Demons is the one with Linnea Quigley, where she takes the lipstick and sticks it in her boob. You probably remember that scene. There was something else I was going to say, but I've lost my train of thought, so I'm going to go to the next question. Do you have a favorite subgenre of horror?
Ooh, well, I guess that kind of like depends on like my mood, but I really love like supernatural, witchy, occult, voodoo type of horror. That always just makes my heart flutter. And I want to say like supernatural, well, yeah, supernatural, and then also Southern Gothic. That one, I feel like there's so many awesome ones like Eve's Bayou, Angel Heart, The Beyond, Skeleton. I could go on. There's just so many awesome ones with that one.
Yeah, I just recently watched Skeleton Key. I really, really like that one. I feel like it's kind of underrated. Right? I want to rewatch Eve's Bayou because I haven't seen that in a long time. But yeah, Skeleton Key, you would think there'd be more stories written in that vein, considering our country's history and how I personally believe that every plantation house is haunted, like it has to be. Yes. And doubly haunted because it should be haunted by the Native Americans killed and then the Africans killed. Like they should be doubly haunted. So there should be way more haunted movies that take place in those circumstances.
I agree. And I remember when I first went to go see Skeleton Key, and I remember watching like the trailer. Nowadays, I kind of skip out on trailers, but yeah, I remember watching the trailer, and I was so excited about it. And I checked it out, and I absolutely love what's her name's character? Joy Bryant, her character, because it's just like, she tried to stay away. No spoilers. She tried to stay away from the situation, even though the movie, it came out like what, 2005, 2006, guys, come on. But it's just one of those movies where it feels swampy and it feels hot. And I actually have a video coming up about that where I'm going to be talking about that one, I'm sure.
Very, very cool. Double feature podcast. I can't speak today. Double feature podcast is here. That's Mika and Kira. Very, very cool. Thank you guys for stopping by. Tony Man asked a question. Have you seen, I think he means The Deliverance, not Deliverance.
Mm-hmm.
Two different movies.
Yes, I have seen the I've seen The Deliverance. It wasn't for me, but they tried. Yeah. It's cool if, people people enjoy it, because I met some people where it's like they like really love it and they thought it was super scary, and unfortunately, yeah.
I'm surprised because I did a review and I said it's a horrible movie, but I laughed at so many, like, unintentionally funny. Like, it's not supposed to be as funny as it was.
It was. I thought it was hilarious. Like, I'm pretty sure we're thinking about a particular line of what this character smells, and it's just like, what?
Yeah.
Where did you get that from?
Several.
Where did that come from?
I think they were trying to top the things that Reagan was saying in The Exorcist, and they were like, "How can we top, what she says?" Because like she literally tells one priest to F the other priest. Like, so they're like, "Well, what can we say that's nastier than that?"
Yeah,
all they can come up with.
Well, they did that. I've seen so many like memes about it. I don't know. I feel like it's definitely one of those movies where it's like a conversation starter. So, and I even know people who don't even like horror, they watched it. So that's pretty awesome.
Well, it felt more like a drama with horror elements in it. I kind of wish that it was more of a straight horror movie, that it could have been like a Black Poltergeist or Amityville.
Yeah.
But being Lee Daniels, his main experience is in doing dramas. So I think that's why it still had that like drama element in it. Although the Ebony character, like, he could have wrote her with some redeeming qualities. Like, she was just a terrible person.
She was. She just wasn't likable, like, at all. And I don't know, like, not saying that you have to like all the characters and stuff like that,
but you can make people multifaceted. Like some of the, I hate to use it as an example because a lot of people don't take it seriously, but I think some of the Marvel villains are written very well because you can kind of understand why they became a villain and what their point is. Even though what they're doing is wrong, you understand their thought process. They're a little bit more multifaceted.
Very true. Sorry about that. A thing popped up for me.
Mika says it's Mika because I can never, when it's just a default picture, I never know if it's Mika or if it's Kira. But today it's Mika. Hey, Mika.
Hey, Mika.
Tony Man says, does she enjoy Tubi horror movies as much as I do?
I love Tubi horror movies. Tubi is the place to go to, okay? If you're looking for movies that you've seen before and you just want a refresher, go there. You can check it out. I know with their original stuff, they have some awesome stuff on there. Not just only like horror, but I do love like thriller as well. And one of the movies I recently checked out, this was maybe like a couple of weeks ago, called Invasive. And I do not remember the young woman's name, but there's this show that's on Netflix called Blood and Water. It's kind of like 90210 meets Veronica Mars.
Oh, I know that one. It's the South African show with the two girls in the school.
Yes. And so one of the girls who's in it, who's the lead, she's in this this movie called Invasive, where pretty much she's secretly staying in this person's house. And yeah, there's some creepy stuff that's going on in there. So yeah, I love Tubi.
I saw the trailer for that one. And I saw just recently Low Life, which was pretty cool. It really like flipped the script on what you expected to happen in it. So
I agree. And it happens right away.
Yeah, if you guys like home invasion type movies, watch Low Life. It's it will subvert your expectations. You'll think something is one way and it's totally another way. But I think Tony Man, to be clear, Tony Man's my husband, so that's why he's asking these questions. He means the Tubi movies that are like What was the one you wanted to watch? Gun Waving New Haven. That's my neck of the woods. I'm from Connecticut, but I moved down to Florida. Um,
Yes.
he likes those. There was one I watched recently that was called The Landlord.
Ooh.
I enjoy those too. Those are the ones where they have like no budget and they basically, hire their friends. I enjoy the craft of someone trying to make a movie with what they have
Yeah.
and still like putting their heart into it. And sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not so good, but I appreciate the effort because you never know. Somebody might start out that way and then you can see them grow and develop as
Mhm.
writers, directors. That's it. You got to start somewhere. And it's
I
really
agree.
cool. We live in an era where people can self-publish to Tubi
Mhm.
and to Amazon. Like that's never been able to be done before. I think you can do it to YouTube too, but I don't think monetization is as easy on YouTube for films, independent films, as it is if you go with Tubi or Amazon.
Do you
Um,
remember what year The Landlord came out?
it's
I
this
was
year. It's
this year.
2024. Mhm.
Cool. Okay, I'll add that to my list.
Oh, chat is going crazy. I have to get caught up on these. Mika says, yes, definitely felt more like a drama with horror elements. Our favorite part was Glenn Close. Yes, she had some great lines. I like when Ebony was trying her on the porch and she was like, I fought bitches for less. And then Glenn Close was like, well, then do it, bitch.
Plus, I mean, she was with Omar Epps, so her
Yeah.
character, good for her.
Mm-hmm. Tubi has a gold mine of horror films. Oh, Tubi also has a lot of old school horror films. Like their
Mhm.
70s and 80s catalog is really good. Mr. Dance's Low Lights was really good. Tony Man says, have you watched Rock the Boat 1 and 2? Rock the Boat 1 and 2 actually stars T.I. and Tiny's daughter. Um, who else is in it? Chris Stokes' son. It's like a bunch of like R&B people's children.
Mhm, mhm.
And I'm
I
like,
I
go ahead.
haven't seen that one yet, but Chris Stokes.
Mhm.
I was stuck on watching The Stepmother.
Yes.
I thought it was funny at one point the Stepmother came out, say like in September, and then by November, December, the second one came out.
Yep.
It's just like, whoa. And then next thing you know, then the third one just came out.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think in the summer or something of last year, 2023. And then I
Mm-hmm.
know now there's a stepdaughter, which I
Yes.
watched. I have not checked out Rock the Boat yet. It is on my list to check
Mm-hmm.
out.
Mika says also Low Life is pretty good. Tony Man says it's Pistol Wave in New Haven. Oh, I'm sorry, I said Gun Wave in New Haven. We'll add that to our list, Tony. Bonnie says Low Lives was a surprise with a twist. I didn't see coming. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I actually wasn't that interested in watching it. My sister suggested it to me because I'd seen the little trailer for it and I was like, oh, that looks like run of the mill, same old, same old. But she was like, no, you got to watch it. So I checked it out and it was not what the trailer makes it look like. It's a little different. I also like the Scream one where the killer was punching people to death. That one was with Michael Jai White. It was like Scream, but like he says, the killer was not stabbing anyone; he was punching people to death. I wish I could remember the name of that. I'll have to look it up. Or actually, Tony Man, look it up for me and put it in the chat, please. Mika says, yes, Bonnie, another Tubi original that surprised us was Play Dead. I don't think I've seen Play Dead. I
Yes.
don't remember that.
Oh my gosh, that one was really good. Her name, what's her name? Bailey something. She was just on Pretty Little Liars originals,
Mm-hmm.
or that other one which they canceled, which broke my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Bailey Madison, and I really like her. I think that she's super cute. But yeah, that one was a lot of fun.
Let me write that down. Play Dead. Yeah, I watched the Pretty Little Liars original Sin, and I got halfway through what's it called Summer School, I think.
Mhm.
And then I got distracted by this K drama called The Glory.
Oh, how is it?
It's so good. Oh
Okay,
my god, it's so good.
K drama is my life. So I recently finished rewatching the one. It's called Heirs,
Hmm.
and the girl she was in. Man, okay, let me look it up real quick because we see her in a lot of horror movies and stuff. Her name is Park Shin Hee. She was in, where is it? There's this one that's called like The Judge from Hell. It's like a series. And oh my gosh, it's not coming
Oh,
up.
is it juvenile justice?
Is it? I don't think so. Not the one that I'm thinking about. And I'm trying to look it up. And well, point is, I just recently rewatched it, and I love that one so much. The Call.
The Call.
The Call. Yeah, The Call's on Netflix.
Let me write that down. The Call, because I need
Oh,
a new one to watch.
so The Call. Well, yeah, The Call is a horror movie, and then she was also in #Alive, which
Oh, the
is
movie, the Call.
yeah,
Oh, I saw the movie, The Call. It's the kind of like a sci-fi. Can't describe it without spoiling it. It's involved. Yeah,
yes,
it's involving changing timelines. I'll say it that way.
yes, which
Yeah,
is so good, so
yeah,
so so good, and also like another one that I think is also on Netflix too, #Alive, which
yes.
is there's an American version, which we
Oh,
usually see
I
the
want to
other
see
way around. Which that one wasn't that bad, but
it.
this
What's
one
it?
has like nosy, rude zombies. So if you love
Hmm.
zombies, you
Yeah,
check this one out.
I saw #Alive. I
Nice.
love the scenes where he's dealing with Wi-Fi and he's trying to use the drone to help out. Like it was really inventive the way they did it.
Yeah.
But what was I going to say about? Oh, The Glory is interesting because it's a revenge story. It's
Hmm.
about this girl who gets pretty much tortured in high school and then she comes back for revenge 18 years later. But what's interesting is the things that they did during high school come from real stories in the Korean press of like bullying that went way too far in high school. So it's kind of cool to see the bullies get their comeuppance in really, really kind of twisted ways. But I like that. There was
That's
one I watched. Did you ever see Itaewon Class?
I have not.
It's really good, and what makes it even more interesting, actually has a black character in it that speaks fluent Korean, and he just
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, is that one's also on
it's
Netflix
on
too, right?
Netflix. Mhm.
Okay. I've that one's been on my list, but I haven't seen, and that was one of the reasons why I wanted to watch it because you never
Mhm.
see that.
Yeah, and his character has a great arc. Well, all the characters have a great character arc because they're all people dealing with different issues that they come together to open this little restaurant,
Hmm.
and it's about like their difficulties trying to run this restaurant. I guess you would think about it's kind of like the bear, but
Ooh.
but it came out before the bear. It's kind of like that. And I have to finish watching. There's two. One is not on Netflix. It's only on I think Crunchyroll, and I don't have a subscription to it, so I only got to see the first episode for free, and that was uh, a series called Mouse, which is a horror
Mm,
thriller K drama, and there's another one called Flower of Evil. That one is on Netflix. I got to watch the first episode of that, which is a horror thriller. Both of them
okay.
deal with like serial killers.
Oh
So
my god, I'm loving all these recommendations. Thank you. Okay.
no problem.
So
Let me get back into the chat. Where did I leave off? Oh, I read that one. Play dead. What are you two looking forward to this spooky season? Um,
there's
Oddly
some.
enough, I'm gonna say Terrifier 3, even though I gave Terrifier 1 a bad review, only because I liked the idea of Art the Clown when I saw him
Mhm.
in All Hallows Eve, the short. I was really excited about the first Terrifier. But then when I saw it, number one, I didn't know there were three girls because they look so much alike. I thought it was two women, and I was like, why did she get killed twice? So I felt like the characters weren't interesting enough to even care about. I like when slasher movies have yeah, I mean, I grew up on Nightmare on Elm Street and like uh, Halloween, where like the final girls are memorable. I can't tell you the names of the final girls from Terrifier or Terrifier 2. Like,
Oh.
give them a little bit more substance so we can remember them. I can
Mhm.
remember Kirsty from Hellraiser, and I don't remember these girls. But I do like the gore and the kills. I feel like the director, he's more well. I think he came from a special effects tech background. I think he would benefit from getting a writer, a screenwriter, because I think his directing is fine. I think his gore effects look awesome, but the writing needs to be punched up. So I don't think he should fully write on his own. He kind of has, I call it Tyler Perry itis, when you want to do everything yourself, but you're not
Okay.
so good at everything yourself. Like sometimes you gotta hire out for the things you're not so great at. That was my opinion, but I'm still excited to see the third one
Yeah.
because I like gore, and I think that the second one was better than the first. So he's improving. So maybe his writing has improved this time, or maybe he has a co-writer. I don't know, but I'm still excited to see it. How about you?
Yeah, I was trying to think. There's so much stuff.
Yeah.
Like since August, we've been getting like 15 horror movies a
Yes.
week, you
It's
know?
hard to keep up. Like
It is.
I even skipped like some of the I usually try to go to the screenings,
Mhm.
but there were some that we had in Orlando 2 screenings at the same time on the same day. And it's like
Whoa.
I can't be at both screenings, so I had to pick
Yeah.
one movie or the other.
No, I get it. And it's so weird too. It's been a time for me.
Mhm.
I've been a little bit busier, right? And so
Yeah.
since August, there's been some stuff like where I still haven't watched certain things yet. So I still have not watched The Front Room. And I'm so glad that I said room because one time I was talking to someone, I said, "Oh yeah, I still haven't watched The Front Door," and they was like, "What?" So now, since I'm just happy that I got that right, but yeah, I still haven't watched that one yet, and I still have not seen Trap yet. They're on my list. I'm going to get to it. So yeah, those are like some of like the major ones that I didn't watch yet. But what I'm looking forward to, that I can think of for the month of October, we'll just stick for the month of October. I'm really looking forward to Smile 2.
Yeah.
I loved the first one so much. I kind of mentioned this earlier. I don't really like to watch trailers because I feel like it kind of gives away too much. Or you know how it is. You just want to watch it and just go in blind. So there's always that. Every once in a while, I'll watch some trailers. But yeah, I felt like the first one was so effective, like down to the music, like to the core. And then on top of that, the marketing is just pure genius. I
Mhm.
absolutely love it. And even when it comes to their posters, I feel like they don't get too crazy with it. You see like the smiling face, and it's demonic. Like I don't know, I love it.
Mhm.
So there's that. I'm really looking forward to that one, as well as Time Cut. So Time Cut comes out, I think, October 30th, and it's basically about this girl who travels back to the early 2000s because she wants to stop this killer from killing her sister. And that sounds like Totally Killer, which came out
Yeah.
last year. Yeah, it does, but I like time travel horror. It just seems like it would be a good time.
And you guys know one of the ones that I was looking forward to already passed. I was looking forward to The Substance all summer. And I was so happy with it. I was like, yes, this is my type of horror. I love it so much.
So
I
would you? Oh yes, yes. I have seen The Substance.
okay, because I didn't want to
No.
spoil
You're good. That was an experience. I
it. Mhm.
recommend everybody should experience that. Would you ever take The Substance?
No,
Okay.
because
Keep it.
because if the younger me tried me, I'm wringing her neck day one.
Yeah.
She let that go too far before she
Yeah.
decided. Yeah, and
Mhm.
what's wild is like it just made you almost want to not age more, but be more comfortable with aging
Mhm.
because of like just recently seeing I looked up Demi Moore's actual age. She's
Mhm.
the character she's playing is 50. It's her 50th birthday, but she's actually 61. And I'm
Mhm.
like, she looks amazing
Yeah.
for 61.
Yeah.
And just recently, Halle Berry was in Never Let Go.
Mhm.
Also, I think she's 58. Looks amazing.
Yeah.
Brandy is 45, still looks like she's 26 years old. In the
Exactly.
front room, like I'm just so proud of like, women 40, 50, 60 doing their thing. Even Glenn Close, they kind of had to like um make her look less elegant than she usually looks to
Mhm.
play that character because the ultra thin eyebrows kind of take away from her look. But I love her playing campy roles
Me
because she
too.
also did that in Hillbilly Elegy. She played her grandmother called Meemaw from Appalachia, and I was like, this is a great performance.
Oh.
Yeah, that's on Netflix too. Hillbilly Elegy is the movie based on a book that J.D. Vance, who was running with Trump, wrote. Now, the controversy about that is a lot of people from Appalachia say that he made the whole book up and he was never from Appalachia. But it's still a good movie. Even if his book is bullshit, that's what. But the movie's directed by Ron Howard, and that's probably why it still turned out really good. But yeah, so this is not a JD Vance endorsement. I'm just saying that particular movie was a decent movie. Um, oh, Mr. Dan says the remake of Terror Train and sequel are pretty good on Tubi. Yes, I saw the first Terror Train remake, and there's a sequel. they changed the Jamie Lee Curtis character is
Mhm.
now played by a young black actress, and she
Mhm.
did a really great job. I love to see it. I really liked her. Might cosplay her because I liked her and
Ooh,
Tara
that's
Tree.
cool.
Tony Man says the movie was called You Are Not Alone. That's the movie with Michael Jai White, who, by the way, just started his own film production company. He's going to
Oh,
base it in New Haven, Connecticut.
oh, nice.
Mika says K drama. We just got more into this, so taking recommendations. Yes, it's really well done. And the other thing I love watching for is the clothes. I love looking at the clothes,
Yes.
jewelry, the cars.
It always gives me like just so much life. Okay.
Hmm.
Like that's where you need to go if you need inspiration.
Hmm. It makes me wonder if that's how people felt watching Dynasty, like in the 80s. Um,
Mm.
Bonnie says, Mika, I'm putting it on my watch list. Paul Draws is here. He says, hello, I'm glad to hear you guys talk about wild movies like Pinocchio's Revenge. Yes,
Yes.
I like, I love, well, you can't see them back there, but I love a creepy doll movie, even though it's technically he is a marionette, but I like movies like that. I love the Chucky movies, and not so much Annabelle because she doesn't really actually move in it, but she does stuff. And also, I think it started with the clown doll from Poltergeist. Favorite Korean movie, The Sickness. Yeah, that was not a Korean movie. I think you're thinking of The Sadness, and that is a
Oh, yeah, the
Taiwanese
sadness.
movie. Yeah, that's a Taiwanese movie. Still really good.
Yes.
I think my favorite Korean movies would be probably a tie between, oh God, it's hard. A Tale of Two Sisters
Hmm.
and Parasite. Parasite was amazing.
Love Parasite. Yeah, I also love A Tale of Two Sisters, and I'll throw in there Thirst. The
Yes, yes,
movie
yes.
is just whimsical and magical, and it's a good time.
And Train to Busan. That was a nice.
Yes.
Favorite Korean movies. Oh yeah, I saw the devil. Yeah, that was really good. And The Wailing and Parasite. Yep.
Taste.
And The Host. The Host was Korean too. Tony, we didn't make it through the sadness. May try again. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was pretty gory. It was pretty
It's
gory.
rough. I wanted to shut it off with the woman who was on the train. Like there's a particular I won't say what happens,
Yeah.
but
Have
yeah.
y'all seen the new Salem's Lot? Did y'all like it watching it tonight? I liked it. What's interesting is this week I revisited the original Salem's Lot because I hadn't seen it like all the way through, and I didn't know that there was already a Salem's Lot remake in 2004 with Rob Lowe. So I
Mhm.
watched that one too, and I watched Return to Salem's Lot. So I was all caught up, and then I just today watched the new Salem's Lot. I think if you really love the 1970s Salem's Lot, you may or may not like the new one because it's more truncated. In that the original Salem's Lot that was on TV in the 70s was a miniseries, so it was
Mhm.
over 3 hours long. Whereas the new one is a movie and it's only 1 hour and 41 minutes. So a lot of the scenes, I would say most of what happens in the 3 hour one still happens in the 1 hour and 40 minute one, but much faster. Like every scene is shorter and faster, so the pacing is much faster. I liked it because I like faster paced movies, but if you're the type of person that doesn't like that pacing, maybe you won't like it. But if you like faster paced movies with the scares being a little, for me, a little more effective, because I feel like maybe if I'd seen the original Salem Slot back when it came out, I would have nostalgia for it. But since I didn't see it at the time, I don't
Mhm.
have any nostalgia for it, and I don't feel like the effects held up. Um, Even the way the vampires look, it doesn't hold up. Whereas the new Salem's Lot is looks a lot better because of the effects. Um,
Mhm.
Also, the director, I had just taken a note on what he recently directed, and now I can't remember what it was. He
Gary.
wrote, and yeah, Gary Dolan. He wrote the screenplay for it, and he
Mhm.
wrote the screenplay for Annabelle Creation
Mhm.
and Annabelle Comes Home, and
Yeah.
both the Nun movies. I don't
Mhm.
really, I don't think the Nun movies are great, but I don't think that's a script problem. I think that's more of a direction problem. But I really like that Annabelle Creation, and I thought he did a really good job with this as a director. So only his second feature film director. He's written 15 screenplays, but he's only directed 2 movies. So for me, I had a lot of fun with it.
So
But
I haven't seen it. Oh no, go ahead.
Oh no, the last thing was just I was just gonna add is, but I saw it on HBO Max, so I think I would feel differently if I had paid to see it in the theater. So for
Mhm.
watching it on streaming, I had fun with it. Would I pay to see it in the theater? Maybe a matinee. I would probably go matinee. I wouldn't pay full price to see it in the theater. What were we about to say?
I was gonna say, well, I haven't watched it yet, but this one, I feel like I've been waiting for it forever. There's been so much pushback on this movie. Like, I don't even remember originally when. Like, it was announced in 2019, then it was supposed to come out in 2021, and then we never received it. And I really wanted to see it in theaters, and then it just got down to the point where it's just like, all right, I just want to watch it because I really like Gary Doberman. I love his work. I love what he does. His writing's on point, and even when he directed, I felt like he did like a great job with Annabelle Comes Home. So I say all that because, I want to make it an event. You know what I mean? I had a lot of work to do today. So as soon as we're done, like later on tonight, I'm going to watch it and I'm going to have a good time. All right. And like you, I did rewatch the original one, Toby Hooper's one, just, as a refresher. And I like made for TV, miniseries, stuff like that. So that was one that I always enjoyed. But I do agree with you. It is very much dated, but it's from the 70s. So
Yeah.
you expect that kind of stuff. But it just has such a cool vibe. And why people would live in that town with all that stuff that's going, why? Like, I would never. But yeah.
So many films releasing tonight. Salem's Lot, House of Spoils, Hold Your Breath. I forgot VHS Shutter is coming out tonight too.
Mhm.
Oh goodness. And then there's I feel like there's some stuff dropping tomorrow as well. It's like this month and November have been loaded.
Mhm.
Oh gosh. I'm curious on y'all's thoughts on Nosferatu. I'm geeked for Smile too. I've been avoiding the trailers for Nosferatu because
Same. Didn't watch it.
yeah, like Zena said, I used to actually do trailer reactions, but I stopped doing them because I feel like trailers show too much. And
Mhm.
now, even if I get really interested in a trailer, I usually watch only the first 30 seconds because
Yes.
beyond that, they show too much, and some trailers are too long. If you see a trailer that's 2 minutes, 3 minutes long, I wouldn't watch it because they're going to show too much, and it's going to kind of ruin. Like one of the trailers I feel like ruined a really great movie was oh gosh, what was the name of the movie with the little vampire girl?
Oh, Abigail.
Abigail, yes. The way they should have done that trailer is like shown them breaking into the house and then shown Abigail saying to them, I'm sorry about what's going to happen to you. And then that's the end of the trailer. Then
Mhm.
you have to go to the movie to find out why she's sorry about what's going to happen to them. But instead, they immediately reveal that, Abigail's danger. I'm like, that would have been such a cool reveal if we
Yeah,
didn't know what was going to happen.
I agree. And I will say this too, like I think it's fine if, obviously if people watch trailers, do what you want, but it's the reason another reason why I don't watch it besides from I feel like, yeah, they show too much, but also because I feel like I will try to dissect it. And I used to do that. I remember doing that for this was like a long time ago. It was for the remake of Suspiria. And I just kept on watching it and like trying to find little things and nitpicking and stuff like that. And yeah, it's fun, but again, like I just feel like I would rather be like surprised.
Mm-hmm. Paul Dresser. Sadly, I haven't watched Substance, but that movie's everywhere. It actually deserves to be everywhere. For once, there's a movie I feel like is worthy. Yeah, the hillbilly said we don't know him. LOL. There's a movie on Tubi I saw the trailer for called Yes, No Voltes is on my watch list.
Ooh.
I didn't see a full trailer. I saw like you know how on Roku there might be like a little poster of a movie. I saw the little
Ah,
poster and I was like, that looks interesting. They had a little tagline there. So
yeah.
I will check that out. Still waiting to see Nosferatu since his SpongeBob appearances. I don't remember Nosferatu and SpongeBob. He's still naming Korean movies. Old Boy, Host. Mr. Dan says I like Host and Lady Vengeance for Korean movies.
Yes. Lady Vengeance is everything.
Will Nosferatu be better on par with The Last Voyage of the Demeter? Well, those are two different versions of Dracula because, well, yes and no. Because The Last Voyage of the Demeter is really based more on like Count Dracula, but in the movie they made him look more like Nosferatu. So that's
Mhm.
interesting. I've never, you know what? I actually have the novella of Bram Stoker's Dracula, and I haven't read it. I should read it to see what is the actual like physical description of Dracula. Because I've only just recently found out that in Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, Frankenstein is actually described as being very handsome. I mean, Frankenstein's monster is described as being very handsome, and I was like, I never knew that because the
Hey,
movies
I didn't know.
always like make him look, like a monster. So future. Sometimes it's great to go in blind with the movie. Yes, I
I
agree.
agree. Yes.
Is there a person of color character or actor in a horror movie that inspired you or made you feel seen on like a movie, TV, book, or any type of horror property, or someone that you
So
kind of
we
identified with or rooted for?
so we kind of touched on this earlier. Roger from Night of the Demons, like, when I was in high school, I went to a school where in my class, it was like a small school, but say in my class there were like 100 students, right? And out of those 100 students, I was one of 10 black kids, and so yeah. And it was a small town with nothing to do. So like that no one really had anything to do. So they would have parties in the woods in the dead of winter. I would never, because my parents were super strict, so I wasn't allowed to do certain things like that. But I do remember, like Roger, I did something dumb, like all those kids when they went to that funeral home. And what I did was with one of my friends, we messed around with a Ouija board, And by the time I realized, like, hey, this is not a good idea, it was kind of too late because I'm already sitting there. What am I going to do? Just get up and leave? I should have done that, so had to sit there, the whole peer pressure thing. And then, yeah, ever since then, I'm just like, yeah, not today. So point is with Roger, when he decided to leave and that when he gave that whole speech, which I love listening to about how his daddy was a preacher and he knows better than to be messing with this stuff. That's how I feel. I watched so many horror movies, so I knew better. And I think this was like an early, like 2000s, right? And so I think that I was going through this phase where I was watching like a lot of like 80s horror. And so one of the movies that I watched was Witchboard. I remember watching the first one and the second one, which I really love both of them, especially the second one. There's something about that one, But yeah, remember watching it and I'm just like, okay, yeah, let's do it. After seeing chaos, why would I do that? I don't know, So point is, Roger is that guy. He is me and I am him. We are one.
What inspired you to get into horror media?
Oh, back in 2011, I created a blog, realqueenofhorror.com, which I still have. I need to do better with updating and stuff like that. But I'm originally from New York and I moved to Florida with my boyfriend at the time. And now we're married. We're so in love. But yeah, with him. And so, I wanted to, still have something a part of like my family, because one of the things that my family and I, what we would always do, we would watch horror movies. I did say earlier how we would watch like Night of the Demons. It was just like our thing. Like that was our time to like bond. And so I realized, when I moved down here, it's like, I'm in a whole new state or new city. And, I was experiencing a lot of culture shock because we lived in a super small town where everything closed at 5 o'clock. Like, I don't even know how I survived, but I did it. Here I am today. And I thought it would be cool just to start like a blog. And then from there, because, I was doing it anyway without the blog. I met like a whole bunch of great people in the community. And that was because of Twitter. It was because of YouTube, like Facebook groups and stuff like that. Just meeting people, then even going to conventions. And then from there, it was just like, I never thought what I'm doing could actually be like a job. It was just something that was fun. But I'm not going to lie. I used to treat my blog like it was a job, like a full-time job, and it was like a lot of time, like just a lot of fun and everything like that. But yeah, then from there, just like a lot of opportunities came my way. And I remember first starting out, it was more like a volunteer type of thing. So like there was no payment. I mean, I would get like free DVDs and Blu-rays, or like, here's some free tickets, which was awesome for me. Like it's a good time. And then eventually some paid opportunities came about. And this was while I was working like my corporate job. I worked in marketing, still kind of work in marketing, just more for film now. But yeah, I worked in marketing and it was fun. Like But you know how it is when you are in a position, and not trying to sound all like super fortune cookie-ish, but you know, when you are working someplace or you're doing something and you just feel like, hey, I probably should not be doing this. Like you just
Mhm.
get that feeling. And I've always just had this itch that I needed to scratch, which sounds kind of gross, but I know you get what I'm saying.
No, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, and so it just never left, and, like, the corporate job was cool because it was just like I had a set schedule, I knew what to expect, the pay was always the same type of thing, and everyone knew what I did, like, because there'll even be times that where I would take, like, time off to go do, like, a set visit when I used to, write as a journalist, which was a lot of fun, and everyone knew what I did, it wasn't, like, a secret, and they always encouraged me to, like, go for it. So, yeah, it was I don't wanna say it was an accident, because it wasn't an accident, it was just more of I wasn't expecting it, but it just kinda transitions into that.
That is really, really cool. I didn't know that we had so much in common because I'm also from a small town. Shout out to East Hartford, Connecticut, which still does not have a Walmart or Target. Like it's like I literally walked past a cornfield to high school. Like that.
Oh, wow, that's pretty cool.
I think that's why I think I identify so much with Stephen King's writing because like Derry and East Hartford is like same thing,
Mhm.
same thing. And it wasn't until and for a while I actually lived in South Windsor as well. At least East Hartford did become a little bit more diverse once I got into high school. So there was one point where me and my sister were the only two black students in 5 grades of elementary school, and
Wow.
then more black, Asian, Latino students
Mhm.
came like as I got into high school. So that was really good. But I started moving south to first to New Haven, and I thought like that was the big city, New Haven, Connecticut. Then I moved further south to Rye, New York, and then I ended up
Oh,
visiting my
wow.
yeah. I was
Okay.
right across from the Purchase train station, so I used to
Okay, nice.
take the
Okay.
metro north into the city. I went to visit my sister before she was graduating from college, and she was living down in Florida in Winter Park. And at the time, me and well, my husband was still my. I think we were engaged at that point. I think we were at least engaged. We were paying like $1,400 a month for a two-bedroom walk-up in Rye with plus utilities
Mhm.
and no washer and dryer. If you have to go to the laundry room, all that. I come to visit her. She's paying like five something a month for this beautiful complex with two pools, fitness center, jacuzzi, and I'm like, what am I doing?
Wow,
I
that's
need to come, let me come down south so at least I can swim. Have a rough day or just float in the pool. So that's how I end up rolling down south too. But back to you and your career because I recently saw you write something about your writing as a filmmaker.
mhm.
And let me first say that the way that they handled that was terrible, and I hate that for you. I don't think you
Yeah.
deserve that type of treatment. Um, I think people's art should be respected, and even there's ways that you can criticize in a respectful manner. She recently was working on. Well, I should have you tell the story so I don't mistell it. Could you tell us about your project?
Oh, yeah, sure. So, for a long time, I've always, always, always wanted to direct. I want to be a filmmaker. Like for as long as I can remember, that's always been like a goal of mine, right? And I've always been making shorts, on the low. I'm a little shy. I don't really, put it out there or anything like that. Or I put out a couple. So, like in festivals and stuff like that. So, I've been working on some features, and one that I've been working on, I really wanted to like, put out there. And I said, like, you know what, I'm going to try to like start pitching and doing all this other stuff. And again, because I've worked like behind the scenes, so you know how it is. Sometimes people they don't always want to read scripts. Sometimes they don't really have time to have long phone calls. So I try to make it like super duper easy and stuff like that. And this person um is a I don't they're an associate of someone who I know, who I work with. And I won't say the person's name out of respect for the person. And this has nothing to do with them or our relationship. This mutual friend of mine or this person who we work with, they basically said, hey, I think that you should talk to this person because, they're actually looking and, the whole thing. So get in contact with the person. Pretty much, we have the call. We have the call. There's three people on the call, and two out of the three people We're really into it. I'm going over some things. And then there's just one that just, you know, had a lot of questions. And that's fine because I made sure I came prepared because again, I've been down this path before. So, I had the location of where I would want to shoot. I have also an alternative if that doesn't work out. And I even have like the budget, like breakdown of budget, just trying to be prepared, have a whole lookbook with pictures that, just to give you like the feel. Everyone else thought it was great. And it's fine if you don't like something. And you know how it is. Sometimes people just don't vibe with stuff. Like plenty of movies that I've seen where it's just like obviously everybody may have liked it or other people may like it, but it's just not for you. And there's nothing wrong with that. So I'm in this exact room in this exact spot on a Zoom call explaining stuff. And I have two lights in front of me. So the call is pretty much wrapping up. This person did have like a lot of questions and I made sure I was answering all the questions. And I don't know, maybe it's my facial expressions. Like, sometimes if you're just sitting here, like it could be like a blank face. So I try to make sure that I'm smiling because I don't want to come off any kind of way. And so we were pretty much going to end the call at the stuff. And so the first thing I did was I cut my camera off because I have to like reach up to like, cut the light off and stuff like that. And it's just like, I don't want my armpits in the camera, and the lights are hot sometimes and they're all in my eyes and my forehead was shiny. So anyway, yeah, I do that, but I cut my camera off first and I guess she thought I left. And I didn't. And I heard her saying that she thought that I was better than her or better than them. And it's just like, how from saying hi. And the look of horror on the other two people's face was very clear, very, very clear. And normally, like, I wouldn't say anything, but it's just like, girl, I'm still on the call. And I just said kind of like, oh, okay, I'm still on the call. And then she immediately started apologizing and saying, well, trying to make excuses. And it's like, all right, it's fine. And so I said, all right, I'm going to go. And then like a month later, I received like a rejection email. And that's fine because it's just kind of like, even if that didn't happen, you sometimes pick up on how people are. And I say this just because like I worked on a lot of projects, I worked with a lot of different personalities, like we all have, and again, sometimes you're not a good fit with people. So it's not so much on, oh my gosh, they're not going to pick me. I'm going to go slide down the bathroom wall and cry. It wasn't even that. It was just the way it was delivered. On a professional call. And it's just like, my thing is, I can sit here and tell you like, hey, I don't think that I came off that way. I really don't. I mean, I said hello and I was
you never come off that way. And this is what I want to say to you. It's something my grandmother told me one time because I've been in a similar situation. I told her similar things were said about me, and she told me that's a function of someone else's insecurity. It's not that they think that you think you're better, it's that they think that you're better than them.
Yeah.
And it makes them uncomfortable. And
Wow.
so they externalize instead of fixing whatever it is in them that makes them feel inferior.
Yeah. Wow. Very, very well said.
Well,
Like,
she's 96 years old, so she's seen a lot.
But yeah, if I wasn't in the right mindset, you could think that you're the problem.
Oh, yeah.
I used to be like that, I used to feel that way where it's just like, got to try to figure this out. And plus, I'm also a recovering people pleaser, so it's just like, it's like a borderline of like, just knowing your worth. And you always hear people say that, but it's the truth. You really do need to know your worth, because imagine if I didn't even hear her say that, right? And I decided to ignore the vibes that were vibing that day, and I'm just like, I just really want to have my movie out there. At least my movie would be out. I'm not putting myself in that kind of situation, but say if I wanted to do that, it would have been an issue. It would have been an issue where it's just like, every single thing would have been like a problem,
Yeah.
And it's just like, do you really want that? It's like you have your dream is right here and you can take it. but you have to decide. And it's just like, it didn't seem right. It wasn't a good fit. And yeah, I could have been messy, and I could have just said the company, and I could have said all these names and did all that stuff. But it's just like, if I'm being honest with you, because of a lot of things that happen, there's also like a fatigue that is in me. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, I don't have the energy or just the time, because you clearly have an issue. You have some stuff that's going on, but I'm just happy that I'm in a spot where I have like a great support system. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I don't feel the need to project on other people, or even trying to put someone down um for doing stuff, especially because it's weird, because it's like, you reached out to me, and then it was just a very copy and paste type an email, and it's just like, wow, that's very, very messy. Yeah.
I do want to ask you a few things about your time at Bloody Disgusting.
Mhm.
How did you start working at Bloody Disgusting?
Oh, okay. Well, back in 2014, maybe 13, I don't know, it was a while ago. So when I used to write, write reviews and listicles and stuff like that, because I wanted to go that path and, do reviews. But then I realized, when I'm writing reviews, I just want to say, instead of giving like that full detail as to why I think you should check it out, just check it out because somebody's head explodes, that's why you should watch it. And I realized, no, yeah, it's not for me. So back when I used to write, I used to write for them occasionally. Shout out to Evan Dixon, who he he would always help me out with that, with some of the writing and everything. So yeah, there was that. And then when I transitioned out of writing like years ago, and then I just started doing some videos and stuff like that. And then back in 2020, Megan Navarro, who is like the head writer over at Bloody Disgusting, she reached out to me because they were looking for a third person for the Bloody Disgusting podcast. And she asked me if I'll be interested. And, I'm shy, I'm very shy. So it's just like, sometimes working with other people, I get a little bit overwhelmed. But I said, you know what? I think that this will be pretty cool because I've been a fan of Bloody Disgusting. I worked with them before. And so, yeah, when I started doing that, it was just such a good time, just being able to give like horror movie recommendations, talking about horror is like a lot of fun. So if you guys don't know, like the Bloody Disgusting podcast, it's a weekly podcast where we give like news recommendations. We talk about different topics, like trending topics and stuff like that. Since then, just in the like last month, the beginning of last month, Megan and my our other co-host John Grills, who does creepy podcasts, actually transitioned out because they're super uber busy, living their best lives, and something I really enjoyed again was doing the podcast. So I kind of took the podcast over.
Very, very cool. Actually, I'm gonna pull up some of the social media right now so that everyone can see it, because you're on a bunch of different platforms. This is her Instagram page, and as you can see, she has videos, a mobile. Actually, let me do this so I can get a little bit larger for you guys. Movies, spooky stuff, makeup, podcasts. As you can see, here's some of the conceptual artwork from her. We're going to speak into existence from your first feature film that's upcoming. We collectively use our intentions to manifest together. We're gonna make it happen. Yes. I like the artwork. Did you do this artwork, or who did this artwork?
I did not actually. I have an artist, and she
Oh.
is fantastic. And so when I reached out to her about this, and kind of gave her like the idea of it, and she completely murdered it.
Yes, I love the detail in the face, like these boils that are kind of like pussing. Like that's really, really cool.
Like I was gonna say, oh my god, I love pus, but that sounds so gross, doesn't it? So, but you get what I'm saying.
Very cool. And then they have the lantern there. I love that.
Thank you.
What did I do? I didn't mean to do that. I meant to stay on the grid. There we go. As you can see, she has great social media presence. Oh yeah, I forgot about this movie that's coming out. What's it called? Daddy's
Daddy's
Head.
Head. Oh,
Daddy's Head. Yes.
it's so good. Creeps me out completely.
Love your pictures.
Thanks.
Ever since I remember you had one on a tennis court that was so cute.
Oh wow, you remember. Thank you so much. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was hot that day, but I did that.
And there's also the what she's working on the bloody disgusting. This is the Instagram, but
Yeah,
she also works on the TikTok, which I'm a fan of TikTok. I love the algorithm. It gives me what I want to see. I truly believe it's AI that learns what you like and it gives you more what you like.
I
So I
agree.
think that's why it works so great. Very, very cool. Oh, also on her main Instagram page, um, her website is here, which is great to take a look at her video work as well. Sorry, my computer's a little slow. That's not her site. That's my computer. You can see this is a great place to. Oh, I like the background image too with the ghosts.
Thanks. We love just ghosts being ghostly.
You have great thumbnails too.
Thank you.
I appreciate thumbnails. But yeah, I need to do the same thing when it comes to like working on my website. I've really neglected it recently. But you're gonna be on there because I'm gonna put this on there under interviews. That's
Yeah.
great. Let me see if we have a couple more questions. I don't want to keep you here too long. Um, oh, that is all my questions. Yay, I made it through. Okay. Our conversation was so good. I was like, I don't think I made it through all the questions. But what I want to do, let me bring us back up on here so we can check the comments one last time
Okay.
because they've been chatting in here. Let's see. So he says, sorry we spammed the chat and got you guys off topic. No, it actually made the conversation flow a little bit better because I'm still, I'm kind of rusty on interviewing because I started back up just this week and I haven't done interviews in almost a year. So
But
you can tell
no,
I'm kind of rusty.
you're no rust at all. I feel like you've been doing a great job. Made me feel comfortable, tell you everything. Just want to tell you my whole life.
I'm glad because I get worried like, am I being too intrusive? Should I have asked that question? Paul Dress says, speaking of dolls, have you guys heard of Lily D? She's from RL Science Haunting Hour. You'll hate the mother who plays around with Lily D and ignoring her daughter. I just recently saw the Lily D episodes. They're on YouTube. Someone uploaded them to YouTube and they're really creepy to be
They
a
are.
kid show. Yeah.
It's so good. There's a meme that goes around of the little girl who's what's her name? Bailey Madison or Madison the girl from Pretty Little Liars original
Mhm.
sin. She's in it and she plays like the main little girl with the doll, right? And the way she's looking at the doll, like it's a meme. Like you just have to like look it up. It kills me every single time. But yeah, I love the Haunting Hour. There's so many good episodes.
Then it says, Love Roger, we remember seeing Night of the Demons the first time and being shocked to survive. Yes, I had the same reaction because I was really surprised at that. And then I think the second time I felt that way was um, Tales from the Crypt Demon Night because I
Mm.
didn't know that. I'm trying to blank on her name.
Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yes, thank you. Jada Pinkett Smith, that she was going to be the final girl.
Mm-hmm.
I was like really, really surprised. That New York City came out and I heard it. Us Northeasterners can catch it. Yeah. Yes, agreed. That's their own insecurity. Remember what Cat Williams said: if you don't have haters, you're doing something wrong. Yes, it's hard not to internalize those things, but you have to know your own value. Never let anyone determine your value. They can never understand how priceless you are as a person.
I agree. Very well said.
Our mother always told us that.
Awesome, Mom.
And also, they love Bloody Disgusting.
We love you.
And they are manifesting your film
Yeah.
as well. So there we go. Bonnie says, I'm enjoying the restructuring of the podcast, having the featured guests chatting over horror. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Great conversation, ladies. Jen says, this was great. You guys rock. Thank you. They say great interviewer, Shasha. Oh, you guys are making me, making me, like, I don't want to say tear up, get misty. I'm getting misty. There's an X-Files episode that I want to see about a doll called Mr. Chuckleteeth. Let me write that down.
Yeah,
So
I'm
I
gonna
can
do the
remember
same.
it. Mr. Chuckleteeth. I don't remember that
That's
one.
a weird name. I like it.
And Paul just says, we glad you guys had a great conversation. Thank you. I'm glad we did too.
Me too.
Before I close out, do you have some upcoming projects you want to plug, or or how often do you podcast on Blended Disgusting?
Okay, yeah, sure. So it's a weekly podcast. We drop episodes every single Wednesday. Feel free to you can find us like on Spotify, just everywhere where podcasts, and it's for free. Always be for free. And then you can also find me on Twitter. I don't want to call it X. I know the name
Yeah,
change and chaos.
we're not doing that. We're calling it Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter. So just that lovely Zena. And then I'm also on Instagram, Real Queen of Horror. You can also follow me on Be Disgusting's TikTok. I have a TikTok, but I don't really update it as much. And also on YouTube. YouTube, just Real Queen of Horror.
And I put the links to anyone that's watching it now, and also on the replay, the links to her different social medias as well as her website is in the description box of this video already in there. So even when as soon as we finish here, you can go into the description box. You can click through to the different places, including the podcast itself. They're saying, "Yep, it's Twitter." Oh, Geisha Tactics, you made it. She says we're never calling it X. No,
Never.
Looking forward to more spooky season content from you two this month. Thank you.
You.
Same to you. You guys, just about everyone in this chat has a very, very good channel. So I got to shout them out too. Double Feature Podcast. They are everywhere. They also are on YouTube. They're on, I believe you guys are also on TikTok. I know you're on Instagram. Mr. Dan in Horror, he also has a channel. I like the videos he does with his son because he has a son that I believe your son is Gen Z. So it's interesting to hear his reaction to movies and then your Gen X reaction to movies at the same time. I think it's really, really fascinating. Did I miss anybody? I think those are the two channels that have or two viewers have channels. But with that, I'm gonna get out of here so we can both get back to watching movies. Because I gotta watch something tonight, and she's gotta watch something tonight. If you have surround sound, watch it in surround sound because it'd be really, really cool. With that, thank you guys in the comments. Thank you again, Zena, for stopping by. I really appreciate you.
Thank you all.
With that, we're gonna say good night. Goodbye.
Good night.
Down and turn it down right